So and when we give it, we need to give it by two hand. We also need to stand up. Okay.
なんかこういろいろな混乱の中でも前に進むのが
そうですね
すごくいつも勉強になっていて、あ、これアンサートンティに強いですよね。
でマレーシアだったらニュースの中に例えばケダーの方とかクランタンの方が喋っていても字幕はつけません。
In this video, we have an Islami Ismail with us. He's the president of ALEPS, the Alumni Look East Policy Society, which bridges Malaysia and Japan through former exchange students. He founded JM Business Ethics to share Japanese business practices with Malaysians and just released his book, The Malaysian's Guide to Japanese Business Etiquette. We talked about his life in Japan, navigating business culture differences, and mutual lessons for both Malaysia and Japan. So, let's get started.
Islami-san, when you started this JM Business Ethics company, what was the motivation to start this company?
First of all, of course, because I studied in Japan, I learned a lot from Japanese community. I learned a lot from Japanese company as well because I work in various industry, starting from my part-time in Japan, and then goes into I work as an engineer in Japanese electronic companies, and I work in IT industries. And then investment industries as well. But now I'm focusing more on consultation for Japanese company coming into Malaysia. And I think one of the important part, we want to give exposure, especially to Malaysian, about how Japanese company handle their business activities, how Japanese handle their business ethics. So that is when actually I team up with Mr. Araki-san, my partner. We want to have more Malaysian to know about Japanese ethics, because I think the good things about Japanese is they try to put everything in black and white. While maybe I'm not saying that Malaysia do not have that, but maybe we still lack of printed materials, something that everyone can refer. Before we have this, we have another version, Japan Business Ability, we call it JBAA. So that inside that JBAA, it is a certification, but when I look at it, there are small things written in the books. For example, when you come to office, you should not wear this kind of clothes. Or when you use toilet in the office, you should use in this manner. So that is actually something that if you think, you may think that everyone should have, you should know about how to use a toilet. But you cannot say that everyone already know. Maybe some people, they have different background. They don't know how to use a toilet. They don't know how to properly wear clothes when you go to work in a certain company. So you cannot expect that everybody know everything. So as a company, we should have a proper documentation. So okay, this is what is the things that you should do when you come to work. So that is, I think, a good things, a good guidance for everyone that we should distribute. So that is why when we have that the JBAA at the beginning, we think that we want to disseminate this information to all Malaysian. However, when we try to do that, after I think 1 or 2 years, we found that okay, the JBAA is good, but it is too much. It is concentrating for Japanese actually. It is not for foreigners because the contents is really about Japan. It also teach about Japanese holidays, when is the holiday, what to do during the holidays. So if we are going to promote that book in Malaysia, maybe some of the part are not relevant to Malaysian people. So we try to come out with a book which is suitable for Malaysia environment, Malaysia working environment. So that's why we come up with this contents. We took the core contents from the Japan, but we add on a Malaysian culture inside this book.
So in this book, there are many Japanese practices is mentioned in the book. For example, horenso or gofumai kodo. When you talk about Japanese business etiquette, is there any etiquette that you think like, this is good to practice?
I think the way that Japanese presenting their business card is also very important. Because when you present your business card, that is where you have an opportunity to get a good first impression with the opponent. Yeah. So that is where because that will be your first time meeting each other, and you should fully utilize that chance to get to know them. So I'm not saying that Malaysians should 100% follow the Japanese business ethics in presenting business card, but for me, because I'm dealing with many Japanese company, Japanese government agencies, so I do try to follow Japanese business ethics in presenting business card as much as possible. The way Japanese presenting business card, because I think both of you are much more well-versed, better than me. We need to give it by two hands, not one hand. I think that shows the politeness. When we to greet each other, and then we also need to put our card lower than the other people's. Yeah, to be very humble. That is also very nice. And
You want to practice that?
Yeah, I think.
Can we see how?
I'm not good at, you know.
You can learn from Islami-san today.
When you're giving the business card, it should face the other person, not facing yourself. Your business card should face the other person, so that the other person can read your business card, easily. So and when we give it, we need to give it by two hand. We also need to stand up. Okay. Yeah, we need to stand up. We should not do it while sitting. And when we pass it, okay. Normally we will pass it. It's a rotation. I think we pass it like this, and we try to put it our lower than the other person.
Lower.
Okay, so we receive it, and in Japanese we call it chodai itashimasu. Yes.
イスラミさんがおっしゃっているのは、形式よりもそこにある気持ちとか、そのコアにあるなぜそれをするのかっていうところですよね。だから両手で持つのも相手に対してリスペクトを見せたりとか、カードをこうやってポケットにしまったりしないのもそこをきっとイスラミさんもマレーシアの人に伝えたいっていうところだから形が形式がとかじゃなくて
Because I think Malaysian also we do have that kind of feelings to be humble to the other persons. We do have, but Japan has it better in a way that you have a proper way that everyone should follow this method. So I think that we don't have it in Malaysia.
I see.
But if we try to explain why Japanese giving it by two hands, put it lower, I think Malaysian also will agree that that is a good way in presenting your business card.
Yeah, Malaysian has their own, like showing respect and then sincerity, generosity. Very warm, very warm country.
Yeah. I do agree because I'm not blaming Japanese, but I think Japanese have a good way of respecting people. Yeah, but Malaysia, we are very warm. Even though this is what I think Japanese lack compare of Malaysia. Japanese, even among Japanese, it is not easy to be part of the community. 仲間の一つにはなかなかなれない。There's some kind of wall in between. But for Malaysia, even if I found someone in Japan, I met him for maybe first time. But when we know, oh, you are Malaysian, so we can interact to each other as though we know them for many years.
Yeah, we have experienced that in Malaysia, right? Inclusion,
Yes.
right? Yes.
Yeah, so when you first time work with Japanese people in Japan or outside Malaysia, did you have any difficulty or any or surprise moments with Japanese people before?
I think I have already mentioned during our session this morning as well. One of the things that I really surprised is how Japanese really passionate about their responsibility. For example, I've mentioned about how a janitor or a cleaner, even though his job is only cleaning a toilet, but he held proud. He's doing his job with proud. When I was working in a factory in Malaysia, I tend to find out that the maybe normal staff, they think that I receive only small amount of income compared to the CEO, compared to the director, so I don't care about this company. I just do my job. I don't want to take any big responsibility in the company. That is, I think, totally different from Japan. In Japan, even though their salary is low, even though they are just a normal worker, they think that whatever they do actually contribute back to the company. How even though it is a small job, it contribute back to the company. It is very important. For example, if you have a very big company, then one day, let's say the janitor, the cleaner, does not clean the entire company maybe for 1 month, what will happen? Everyone may not be able to work in a good environment. So that's why I'm saying that everything in a big company, in a big organization, it is like a gear. We have a small, many size of gear. Each gear rotate and it actually influence another. If one of the gear is missing, then the whole system cannot work. So I think that is one of the lesson that I learned from working with Japanese company.
I think that's our strength, right? But Malaysian people got their own strength.
Yeah.
Right?
I do agree. I think I'm not saying that we don't have our own strength.
Yes, of course.
That's why we come up with this. We want to take the best of both nations. Yeah. We have the good things about Japan. We have good things about Malaysia. So we would like to combine this in order for Malaysian people to go further.
マレーシアの人の強みと日本人の強みがうまく融合してなんか前に進むようなものがあるといいなと私もすごく思うし、日本人はその自分のパートを一生懸命やることが得意ですし、ルールとか 決められたものにフォローしていくのも得意です。一方でマレーシアの人はなんか形になってないものの中で前に進む力がすごくありますよね。だから私たち教科書がなくて指示がないと動けないそうでもなんかこうやっぱりマレーシアはダイバーシティが本当にあっていろんなバックグラウンドがあってみんないろんな考えとか信じていることとかがある中でなんかこういろいろな混乱の中でも前に進むのがすごくいつも勉強になっていて、これアンサートンティに強いですよね。
私がこれは仕事じゃないんですけど、これ言語の話ね。日本にいた時、日本の番組というかニュースとかがありますよね。その時不思議に思うのは、ニュースの中に例えば地方の方をインタビューします。日本語で話しています。もちろん方言ですね。日本語なのに字幕がついてますね。字幕好きですね。でマレーシアだったらニュースの中に例えばケダーの方とかクランタンの方が喋っていても字幕はつけません。だからもちろんね100% みんな理解してるわけではね、たまには理解してない部分もあるかもしれませんけど、それ字幕がないから自分もなんとかこういうのが何を言ってるかというのはですね理解しようという力がつくっていうと思うんですね。
今回はね、そのシェアリングとこの動画でもうイスラミさんのもう経験とね、知識とウィズダムをいただきました。ありがとうございました。本当に。
いや皆さんも多分いろいろな経験もなされてると思うんですよ、マレーシア国内で。こちらこそですね。
本日はイスラミさんありがとうございました。本当に。
こちらこそありがとうございます。
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.